So, Trackmania Pro League Grand Final of Season 2 will be started off on Makes You Think, followed by Kenzan Love, then Toxic, and Cold Sweat and Sin City will be the destination of the final map of this rotation. It will be contested between CarlJr representing Zerator, Paco of Gamers Origins, Massa of an unannounced organisation, and Tween of Isuba. Carl will be starting off this grand final with a 10 points advantage due to having a first place in the upper bracket final. Pac will also come in with 6 points due to second position in that very same final. Massa and Tween coming from the consolidation final will start on 0. So we will get started off momentarily on Makes You Think. So I hope you're all ready for a fantastic match to be had between these players. And we will get kicked off as soon as the warm-up is done. So who's putting a prediction in the chat? I want to see who you're supporting. Players supporting me, that's what I like to see. I'm ready, guys. Let's go. Oh, we've got a lot of Pac fans in the chat. I'm seeing Massa, Tween coming out. Spam. Oh, the first Carl I've seen there as well. And Marius getting some energy from Riolu as well. That's what we like to see.
Thank you so much, Riolu. Thank you.
So, Tween doing a 104.0 in the warm-up, getting himself off to a good start. Hopefully, he can continue that into the match itself, but we will go live into round number 1 of the grand final. So, who's going to strike first here? Who will get the first 10 points? That is the question. Let's follow the upper bracket winner, which is CarlJr, starting off on 10 points. So, let's see what he can do on Makes You Think by Thompson. Starting off with a bit of wider line than Massa and Tween. Pac dives a bit more inside and takes the advantage. However, Carl overtakes Tween due to Tween having a slightly inferior line. Massa in the lead though, but Carl attempting to battle his way through the pack. More speed there than Tween. And he does go up to first place here, but Massa with more exit speed. Tween keeping pace as well. Now do you see this long left-hander here? Positions slightly changed. Tween exiting with more speed. Pac trying to get into the mix here as well. Massa building a very slight lead here at the moment, but not the best line going through here into the jump. He will land earlier and get a better exit line. However, Tween falling down to 4th place. Massa still trying to hold on to the lead with all he's got. However, Pac, I believe, fell off the side there. Massa slightly extending his lead here. He's 2 tenths ahead of Carl. Can he hold it? Carl fails going into the ending, so Tween might take his 2nd place, and he does. Massa starting us off with a 104.0. Tween second with a 104.2. Carl 104.4, and Pac starting off in 3 points. So the 2 people with bonus points are the 2 low-scoring people in this round.
Exactly, and what an intense round we had, so this really shows what we can expect from this final. Next round is starting, and let's see how the players will come into this round. We see CarlJr touching the bubble a little bit and falling back by a 10th. So he finds himself on the last place. Only got 3rd in the first round. He often has not that best starts into matches. Here he lost some speed again, so CarlJr is pretty much out of this round. The top 3 are still very close, though we have Pac in the lead. Tween also falls a bit behind on 3rd place. It's basically Massa versus Pac. This turn will decide maybe a bit. Nah, it's still the same distance between Massa and Pac. Can Massa catch up here? Oh, he touched to pole there, so he falls back and maybe CarlJr can overtake him. Tween must have done another mistake. Pac can definitely get the 10 points here if he manages to get the finish jump, and he doesn't. Wow, Pac goes into the upper finish. Hey, he lost the 10 points here, only gets 2nd place, and Massa scores another 10 points. So Massa with 2 wins, but here he got a win with a 104.5, which is a rather slow time, I guess, in this final.
Yeah, I mean, like, Massa did now with his 2nd win in a row and already ahead of Pac and Carl, and this might be the momentum that Massa needs in a match like this is he's already scrubbed away the points advantage that Carl had. Carl didn't manage to finish at all and stays on 14 points, and Paco of course completely failing and going down to, I believe that was third place. He actually managed to get there, or second, but Tween makes a big mistake going through there. He stays at bottom in points. Carl with another mistake here, so not looking good for him so far. Massa however in the lead with 0.2 of an advantage over Pac at the moment. Massa here off to a very good start in this match so far. He looks like he's on hot form, and he looks like he can keep up his battle for first place, and if anything extend his lead over his closest opponent. And he's on a great time here so far, risking too much though. Gets his wheel caught on the inside there and does lose all of his time. And now Pac will be the one who wins this round as long as he gets the finish, no problem, which he will for 104.2. Carl misses the risky finish again. Massa misses a finish altogether, and Tween instead gets third place, so Massa now fails that jump, and now we come into Pac taking the lead with 25, Carl and Massa on 20, and Tween down in 14.
After a sick first round, we saw many crashes now in the second and third round, so the people definitely feel the pressure of this grand final. So now we again have CarlJr at the bottom of the pack. But here he has a nice turn, fights back, and now all four players are pretty much inside each other here on this little straight, on this little off-road part. It's neck and neck between all players. This round can go either way. Pac, however, takes the lead now by a tiny bit, but he had to adjust his line in this turn, so CarlJr takes over the lead. Meanwhile, we have Massa on the last place, so he has to risk this turn, and he does, so he overtakes Tween, but we have a battle between CarlJr and Pac at the top. Both have like the equal line here. Oh, Pac comes back with more speed, and Carl can't make the jump, so Carl falls back to last place. And Pac takes the 10 points again. Very unlucky for CarlJr, but yeah, now he loses a lot of points on this track. Didn't have a very good run yet. And Pac takes the second win.
Yeah, but we'll look at that. Carl started with 10 points, and in 4 rounds he has only got 13 points. That is not the Carl we are used to seeing. I certainly hope he manages to step up his performance going forward. Tween, however, only down on 18 points at the moment, needs to be getting himself in good there. We saw Massa stealing the second place for him by 0.006 of a second in the previous round, but now first map is in the books, and we are moving on to Kenzan Love by Wally, the second map in this cycle. We may see this one again due to having a higher points limit. Either that or the match will end on the previous map, of course, makes you think, which bodes well for Massa and Pac, as they had the best performances on it. But now let's see if we can get any idea by the warm-up as to who will be having the best performance on Kenzan Love. This is one of those maps that really lends itself to those who are willing to risk for it, through that right-hander that Massa just crashed in as well. At the ending, there's a lot of space for people to really go for these high amounts of points. So do you think, with the pressure of a grand final, Marius, that they will be going for such fast times, or do you think they'll be a bit tentative or a bit hesitant to go for the top points now they know so much is on the line?
I think that, yeah, pretty much all of these players will take many risks, especially Massa, of course. But yeah, I think Tween is the only one who will stay consistent and rely on mistakes by the other players who maybe risk too much. So that might be his hope. But yeah, let's see how it will turn out here. So starting off with the first round on Kenzan Love. In other matches we saw some mistakes already at the start, but here all players come through without any problem. Or Tween, I think, was with a very inside line, and this right-hander gets the second place here, but everything is still very close. Massa is on last, actually. So he has some catching up to do, and yeah, he got third. Now CarlJr fall back again. I remember that Pac did very well here in the winner bracket final. So this very important hairpin, and Massa got it very nicely. He moves from third to first, but it's so close, it's impossible to call how this will end. CarlJr still is a bit behind 1600s, and it's too much against these players. Tween is falling back in this turn. He really struggles with it. We saw that in previous matches as well. So Massa versus Pac, last turn decides it. Massa takes the lead. Great turn by him. Tween comes back to overtake Pac. And he doesn't get it, and CarlJr, I think he won't finish. Or will he? No, he won't finish. I saw him crashing in the last turn, in the last chicane. He probably got airtime. So it continues to be a very bad match for CarlJr so far.
He needs to pick it up. It can't continue to go downhill from there, but some hell of a times coming out from Massa and Pac there. Again, some of the best we've seen from these players. We have an early kind of disadvantage for Tween, but of course he manages to recover from it in the next turns. Ooh, Carl jumps a bit too much further than he would have expected. And we do see here that Massa has dropped down to join him as well. So Pac having a good opportunity to extend his advantage in the top end points at this match, especially as he has an 18-point advantage over CarlJr, but he does have Tween hunting him down in this round. Pac looks like he got a gear down there, lost a lot of time. Carl overtakes with a much better hairpin, and now he is on the chase of Tween for the 10 points that he needs. We have Pac very close in third place though, but is he going to be able to do anything here? Massa's trying to get in the picture as well. Tween with not the best section, so he falls down slightly. It's all going to come down to this last corner. Carl has it good. Tween right next to Pac here. Will he have the better going down at the end? But he does not. Carl does take the first place with a 104.7. Pac following up with Tween behind him, and then Massa in last place. So Pac in the lead on 47 points, 8 ahead of Massa, and now only 14 ahead of Carl. Is this the comeback of CarlJr?
We will see. I remember some grand finals where he also struggled a bit, and then he started to win rounds and got 5 or 6 wins in a row, so that would put him far in the lead. But so we are far away from that to happen, because against these opponents I think it won't be such a series. So we see Massa crashing again, so he falls back on to the last position, and Tween also loses some ground. So it's the battle between Pac and CarlJr in this round. So this hairpin is a very important turn, might decide the round, and we see CarlJr crashing. Last round he got this turn extremely good, but now he touched the wall, so that leaves Pac in the lead and with the opportunity to extend his gap in the total standings again. It looks very good for Pac in this match. So last hairpin to go, he can pretty much save it, and he does. So just this chicane and those jumps left, and he makes them without any problem and finishes with 104.66. Great time by Pac, and yeah, he moves away now and is in the lead with 15 points advantage over Massa on second.
We're beginning to see some mistakes creep in from these players. Massa again maybe feeling he's not on the peaks of his momentum at the moment, so as we kind of said, it was going to be one of those firsts or last situations, and it's certainly looking like the last at the moment, but we'll see if he does manage to recover from it. CarlJr still in third place in points, 20 points behind Pac at the moment. There's 140 points as the points limit, but whether it's the case that he will be able to catch up is still something we're waiting to see here. Tween makes the first mistake of this round though, but let's see what's decided here. Massa goes flying off the edge of the track. Doesn't look like he'll get any points in this round as a result. Not entirely sure what happened to him there, but now the round is to be decided between Pac and Carl, with Pac now in second place chasing down, but he is a 0.22 disadvantage to Carl, and Carl only has 1 turn remaining. Well, 2 turns remaining, but Pac has more speed. Will Pac be able to get him here? He will get a tiny bit of airtime. He's still got more speed than Carl, but he just misses out by 200ths of a second. Incredible recovery there from Pac, but he just didn't get it.
Actually, the jumps in the end saved CarlJr. If it was just keeping the car on ground, Pac would have overtaken him probably. But keeping getting no airtime in the chicane before the 2 jumps, that was the part where CarlJr and Pac started to get equal amount of speed again, so that saved CarlJr.
He's still 16 points behind now though. Massa dropping ever further back, now 21 points behind. So to almost switch places with Carl has Massa. Tween definitely not out of it yet, but only at 36 points here. He'll be looking to have a good performance on Toxic. We've seen some really good rounds here coming out of Massa, so maybe this will be the stage of a recovery to be happening by him. And I believe CarlJr had some trouble on this map in his winner bracket final, if I do remember correctly. However, we'll await the warm-up being done, and then we will go live into the first round. So it's a very tight round in the warm-up as well, but we'll see where the players end up and see what kind of times we've got to look forward to.
So that's interesting that CarlJr didn't perform that well on this map, as he has the world record here. So definitely can do fast, but will he also be consistent? And yeah, Massa did a really good job here on this map in previous matches.
105.12, a 105.2 and a 0.38 being driven, or a 0.4 being driven by the players in the warm-up. So, I mean, it's again showing how fast these players can be, so let's see that coming into play in a live round as we start off with the points leader Pac to see what he can do on Toxic. So, early on, Carl with a bad start. I think he got the worst start out of everyone else, and he's now down to 4th place with an early disadvantage, but I'm sure of course he can recover from it, but not with a jump like that. Gives a bit too much airtime. Gets a gear down and goes wide to boot, so he's now 0.4 behind the lead here. So not off to the best starts as Carl on a map he has world record on. Would be expecting maybe a bit more from him here. Tween risks going over those rooftops there. Perhaps quite lucky he didn't get a bump off there, but he is still going, and he is only 1/10 behind Massa at the moment, gaining time on him. However, Pac, kind of story of the round, Pac pulling away from Massa bit by bit, and Tween trying to reel both of them in. He's got Massa now. Can he get Pac? He's shortening this gap. It's now down to 1817 now. Massa drops off. Carl at the back as well. And Tween will not get close enough going through the ending here, and Pac will take the 10 points with a 105.3. So good job there by the players involved, and Pac takes home another 10 points. So we'll see if Carl does manage to recover here, but 23 points is going to be quite a hard disadvantage to come back from.
If he has another bad round now, I think it would be actually a good idea to make a 2-minute break for CarlJr. Because otherwise he loses too much ground on the other players if he continues to lose points like this. So next round is starting, and again CarlJr is at the back together with Pac actually. So we have Massa and Tween in front. Tween now with a bad landing at the jump, so Massa takes over the first place alone, and Tween touches the pole, so Tween is out of this round. Massa with a good lead. I bet he's on a sick time here. And yeah, CarlJr on second, but still with Pac right behind him. So Pac going for a different line, getting more speed at the exit, but here he has to release, so CarlJr stays in front of him. I think CarlJr also comes a little bit closer to Massa, but still Massa seems to be pretty safe. It's just one more turn to go. Can Massa get a 10-pointer again after he's struggled on the second map? Yes, so on his good map with a 105.11, what a sick time, he gets the 10 points. CarlJr with a .29 gets 6 points in front of Pac and Tween.
Yeah, how must it feel after getting such a time like that? A 105.29, and it's only enough for 6 points. But Massa showing what he's truly capable of on this match. And let's see if he'll be able to translate that into a better position than third in the points. Well, he is joint second, but at the moment, of course, he'll be wanting to recover lost ground on Pac. But despite Pac maybe not getting the fastest times on these maps, he is consistently finishing well and he's making the least mistakes, I would say, out of all the players. And we do have a bit of a kind of point sandwich here. Pac at the top, Tween at the bottom, and CarlJr and Massa right in the middle. But Pac we saw dropping back a little bit there, tries to recover through quite an inside line going through there, and he does get a good line, resulting in him catching up on Carl and now overtaking in the battle for first place. Whereas Massa and Tween, they are only very slightly behind, only 1500s between all of these players. Let's see if anyone will risk it going for the jump trick. They will not. Everyone on sick times here. An incredible level in this round, but it looks as if Carl is trying to challenge Pac, and a mistake there from Massa. Carl with the best line and does overtake Pac in the end, bringing home the 10 points for himself. Pac has to settle for second again with a good time, but just didn't have enough there going for him in the end. Tween gets third and Massa has to settle for fourth.
Sick battle there between all the 4 players, but yeah, CarlJr now finally wins also some rounds, and maybe he can come back now. He's 17 points behind Pac, and Pac is on the last position in this round so far. So he's also feeling the pressure, but we see a mistake here by Massa. So Massa is falling back, can't get another win on his probably favorite map here. At the top we have Tween. He definitely needs those 10 points. He's falling back slightly in this match, and now he really needs to get some good points to catch up again. But he got a slowdown or what else, or gear down, I don't know, in this turn. But anyway, he lost time, and CarlJr and Pac both came closer. But now Tween with the best exit goes up into the lead. Pac with the better angle for the jump. 3 guys battling it out for the first place. Pac with the best turn here takes over the lead, so he might win it. CarlJr tries everything to get second place at least in front of Tween, and Tween fails the finish jump. Wow, so he still can finish, but only with 3 points after he was in the lead for so long. Unlucky for Tween, so he didn't get the 10 point in this round, but Pac now defeated CarlJr, and this was the revenge for the round before.
So now 21 points ahead up in the first position. So, I mean, it wouldn't be as consequential as it was if it was on the 120 points limit. So that would mean Pac would be really close to closing out this match here. Maybe just 1 map away. But now he still has quite a bit of time before he manages to get to that finalist mode. So that's more time for someone else to maybe gain a bit of momentum, or for someone else to, you know, a rich vein of form or something like that. So... but definitely the times the time that they have is cutting very close for Massa and Tween to mount a comeback into this. Tween already 41 points behind Pac at the moment. Certainly capable, but his window of opportunity is running out. Of course, the players will need to fight for all positions here, as all positions will have the benefit of prize money coming through them. Of course, as we said, first place gets €550, second place 300, and third place 150, with last position not getting anything. So of course, anyone else that will be in the anyone in this match can really get any of these positions, but of course, like I said, Tween, it's going to be difficult for him, so he'll really need to pick up the pace, start nailing the times that we know he can. Or will we see Pac or Carl running away with this match? Will we see Massa coming straight back into it? Who knows? These questions will be answered by the first round on Cold Sweat by Santana. So round 1 will be starting off, and we'll run with Massa this round. We'll see if he can mount any sort of recovery, any way out of his current 3rd place. And we see here he's got off to a good start. Actually had to make a little bit of an adjustment there going through that left-hander. He was very close to crashing. Carl felt the effects of that as well. Carl's much further behind. However, Pac hunting down Tween at the moment. Both of these two have made it through the early stages without making mistakes. And now Pac went for a more inside line there. Tween going for more speed. Tween has a slight advantage going over here. Pac with a little bump going over the transition. You see Tween takes a more inside line here. He won't have as much speed. Gets to take the inside pull, however. Keeps his nose ahead of Pac. However, Pac has much more speed going over there and might need to scrub a bit off going over this long straight. But now he takes his advantage over this round. Tween with more speed. Pac full crashes into the pole. Tween would have seen that and known that he would have been able to save the finish for 104.4. Pac still manages to get 3rd despite that big mistake, of course. Carl does manage to get 2nd place, and Massa has to settle for last, but that's great news for Tween.
Yeah, Tween only 4 points behind Massa, also got the 10-pointer now, and well, I was about to say, wow, the match went perfect, like perfect for Pac, but then he failed the end and fall behind CarlJr in this round, so CarlJr actually gained some points on Pac instead of losing a lot after his start mistake. In this round, however, everyone made the start and we got a battle between 3 guys in the front. Only Massa is a little bit behind. Pac with the lead, but not the greatest turn by him. He exits with a little bit more speed than Carl, but anyway he lost most of his lead. Also Tween comes back now with the inside line. So now who goes inside or outside? Tween and CarlJr goes inside pole, Pac outside. Pac will stay in the lead and we only have like 2 turns left here. Now comes the drop. Pac again with the most amount of speed here. So this last turn will decide who gets the 10 points. CarlJr tries everything to get Pac, but Pac survives it this time and gets the 10 points with a 104.05. Nice time by him. Also CarlJr with a .10 and Tween with a .26 has to settle for 3rd. Also Massa with a 45 got a 4th place. So on a map where we saw many mistakes in other matches, all 4 players came through here.
That was an incredible round coming out from everyone there. 104.1 being driven for 2nd place is an incredible thing to be saying, but Pac manages to take home the win in that round, and what was thoroughly deserved with such a great time, and now he puts himself up to 107 points. Despite taking such risks, he does make it through, showing his quality as a player and why he is a world champion, of course. So very much a tighter field here in this round. Massa's up here with everyone else, no mistakes as of yet. CarlJr and Massa fighting for the lead here. Paco trying to get a bit further up than 3rd, goes for more speed, does get it, overtakes Massa, but he takes too much risk there, had a bit too much speed for the inside line and does touch. Now CarlJr has a kind of a small advantage over Massa to take into the ending there. Tween with a bit of a bad landing going through there. Now Massa trying to catch up to CarlJr, but doesn't look like he's close enough, and looks as if this will be a round to Carl for 104.048. Another incredible time being driven by these players. A 1.7 by Massa and a 0.4 by Tween. Tween must be wondering what he can do, driven 2 0.4s and he's had to settle for 3rd 2 times in a row. What can he do?
Yeah, and also you should mention that CarlJr's finish jump was very close to fail, actually. So big risks here by CarlJr, but it paid off. He got the 10 points, and this is what he needs to catch up to Pac, who has 110 points and is only 30 points away from finalist mode. Oh, and we see a big crash by Tween in the chicanes before the transition. And also Massa touches now, so also he falls behind, and Pac did also a mistake. So wow, this is a anticlimactic round of this grand final. We see CarlJr, the only one who didn't crash yet, and he can pretty much save it through these turns. I'm sure he knows that he's far ahead. He goes outside pole. Also Massa is doing that. He's 4/10 behind. He can't get CarlJr from its own, so he can just save it to the finish, take the 2nd place. It's a long time ago that we saw a 1st place by Massa. This is also a recent. Oh no! Now he got the 1st place. CarlJr crashed it. It's really not a match that we used to see by CarlJr, not the performance that he usually gets, and he got overtaken by Pac by 400s. Wow, it's really going downhill for CarlJr here. Usually he would use these chances and just take the points and grab them, and now he made a mistake at the end. It was not necessary, definitely.
Yeah, Carl said it was perhaps something to do with his pad, which has had a bit of problems there. Resulted in him crashing there. Binned an easy 10 points for him. I can imagine he'd be pretty unhappy at that, especially as Pac managed to overtake him as well, which means Carl, if anything, instead of gaining points, did actually lose points on Pac, which is very unfortunate for CarlJr. When he was starting to get some momentum going, that is precisely the thing that can kill any sort of kind of momentum you do have going into the following rounds. Such a kind of something that was out of his hands, I'm sure, but I mean, the points are starting to look a bit more spread out here. Tween falling slightly further behind now. He's down 12 points behind Massa. Massa 13 points behind Carl. And Pac, I believe, is 18 points ahead of CarlJr at the moment. So that means at least if he manages to get up to the top here, if he manages to get up to the top here, then he will have around about 2 rounds advantage. So it seems to be Carl is not calling for a pause, but he has faith in what he's able to do here, that he's going to manage to continue with this. And we will go forward into round number 1 on Sin City by MD Point. Who's Sin City going to be good to? Are we going to see a comeback from any of these players, or are we going to see Pac asserting his dominance and not allowing anyone to get close to him here? Seen incredible performances by all these players on these tracks, it must be said. But who's going to give the extra 10%? Who's going to take home those extra points? Who's going to get themselves in the prize money? We'll have a better answer by the time Sin City is over. But at the moment, Massa at the back, despite having such a good start here. Carl with a really close inside line there, does get a bit closer to the front of the pack. Do you see Pac himself struggling to keep hold of first place and does sacrifice it to Tween and Carl. Carl have a more outside line though and does touch. However, Massa's now in the fight, going so close to crashing, going over the building block, but Tween this time in the lead. Massa looking to take second, but Paco want to be doing some damage limitation here, and he goes straight through to first due to Tween making a mistake late on. So great recovery there by Pac, taking the first position straight out of the jaws of Tween, and Massa overtaking him as well. So Pac now up to 126 points, 25 points ahead of Carl.
Sick performance by Pac, definitely, and yeah, what a fight in the end. He overtook 2 players, got the 10 points, and now he has such a big lead, so he will get the finalist status at first, definitely. And Massa with a mistake in this round, early mistake. So let's see, Tween still fights against Pac and CarlJr. Can you hold the pressure while it's so close to the wall? Incredible line. And where's CarlJr? Oh damn, CarlJr also crashed. So CarlJr still not able to perform consistently well. I'm not sure if it is the pressure or is it really a pad problem for him. Anyway, we got Tween getting the crash with a nose slide, I think, into the left wall. So Tween falls back, and Pac has an easy win now to grab and will move to 136 points, only 4 points away from getting finalist status. So Pac dominating this match after CarlJr dominated the whole Trackmania Pro League season. But in this final deciding match, it is Pac who gets the best performance. And there we go, CarlJr asks for a break of 120 seconds. It was really about time. I think he should have done it earlier.
It's about time someone at least called a break on this to stop any sort of momentum Pac was getting, if not for your own benefit, as to you need to consider into the fact that once Pac gets going, he's going to be extremely hard to stop. So the players kind of maybe realising that a bit late. But Pac's on a hell of a performance here at the moment, really kind of showing up some of the world's best players here. Massa not able to get any sort of form going apart from the first map really, and Tween as well struggling to keep up here, making too many mistakes, which is uncharacteristic of these players, but it just shows how hard they're having to push to get these sort of times and the sort of level that these players are hitting. So this will be the third round we'll be going on to in Sin City, so the players will still have the opportunity to get themselves back into good form on this, but Pac, all he needs to get is third or higher, then he'll be up to the finalist mode. So Carl actually unpausing, and Mania Control has decided to restart, and it looks like we're going live with round number 3. So here we go with the next round here. Mistakes being made already by Massa. Tween, Carl and Pac still up in this Still up in this field at the front, but Carl looking to take the initiative in this round. However, Tween gets a much better inside line there than Carl, and now Pac trying to overtake him as well, trying to deny CarlJr any potential points. Tween up in first place, and he does have a strong lead at the moment of 0.2 of a second. So Tween, he's had enough. He's wanting to get himself back in this match. We've seen him leading a few rounds here, but he has had some trouble later on in the map. Of course, the no drift he got last round, but he does have more than 2/10 of an advantage, because a little bump going over the rooftop. This might be exactly what the other players need, but Tween, as a result of getting a wider line, gets more speed, but it's all going to come down to this final turn. Does Tween have it here? Paco does not! Pac falls off, and that means he will not finish this round. He will get 0 points from it, so he will not get his finalist mode in this round. So that allows the other players to get slightly closer here. 113 points for Massa. Tween taking the win and getting himself up to 90 points though.
Well, Pac knows himself what he just did there. He's writing in the chat, well, that wasn't smart. Yeah, actually he just should have finished with a 3rd place and he would be finalist. 0 points in this situation is just not necessary, but anyway, he's still as far in the lead, so maybe in the end it won't matter at all what he did here. But of course it wasn't optimal, so this round is still very close. All 4 players are side by side, but there is the first mistake, and it's again by CarlJr. Oh my god, another mistake by CarlJr. When did we see the last time so many mistakes by him? Anyway, top 3 battle, still very close. That means if now Pac finishes, he definitely will get the 4 points. Well, he makes a mistake, but it's still safe for him that he will move to final status. But now the 10 pointers goes either to Massa or Tween. Who will take it? Massa with the advantage, 1/10 ahead of Tween, and he will make it. He will jump into the finish with a 104.71, and yeah, takes the 10 points and comes close to CarlJr in the fight for 2nd at the moment.
So we move on to another map actually for this. Now this goes back to the first map we're on, Makes You Think by Thompson. So going back to the start now, that means Pac on his first finalist attempt, he didn't perform as best as he could on this map, if I do remember correctly. Massa actually won quite a few rounds on this. We did see Tween getting a kind of half decent performance in, but really this will be the map where Massa will be looking to get himself back into the top points here. Anyway, if we look at Pac, he did put in a good performance on this map. He did miss the finish a few times, and of course with there being some problems with going into finalist mode and having a bit of extra pressure on his shoulders, who knows, that might be the difference that's needed for him to then make the wrong decision and going into the, and you know, taking the wrong approach or risking when he doesn't need to. As now, I mean, the next round could decide whether or not he comes out of this event with 550 euros richer. So there will be a short delay while Softy has to relaunch the plugin. So we'll have the points manually re-added, we'll have the map order redone again, and we will have to kind of start from scratch as the unpause completely Trackmania control. But nevertheless, not anything that we cannot recover from. As Softy said, he'll just get it all done manually, no problem. So exactly as Spam says, 140 points for Pac, 113 for Carl, 109 for Massa, and 96 for Tween. So, I mean, if you look at it this way, that despite Tween and Massa definitely having some things to fight for, the match really isn't over for them. There isn't so much of a gap between Carl and Tween compared to these players and the top. So there's 27 points between Carl and Finalist, whereas there's only 17 points between Carl and Tween. So there's definitely still something to fight for. Here we go. We're going back to Makes You Think. I believe the warm-up will be skipped. I'm not sure though. I think we'll be going live into round number 1. Let us see. And we'll have another warm-up. And then we'll get ourselves underway on what is potentially the final map here in the battle for first place. So what do we think? Do you think Paco will take it? Do you think anyone will be able to come back, Marius? What's your opinion?
At this point, I think that Pac will take it. I don't see him losing so many rounds, actually. But of course, I would hope that CarlJr comes back and we get the insane fight in the finalist mode between the two guys. That would be very exciting, but at the moment, I don't really feel like CarlJr gets into the mood that he needs in order to get this performance that he really would need now.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Carl, even if he's not going for first, he's still got second. He needs to be careful of. Massa only 4 points behind, but we're going live on round number 1 on Pac's first attempt to be the Trackmania Pro League Season 2 champion. Will it come in round number 1 on Makes You Think? We will see. Tween taking an early advantage here into this round, has to jump a little bit wide here, but Pac not in the best position. Last is certainly the worst position for him at the moment. Tween, Carl and Massa already with a 1/10 of an advantage over Pac, so that's a lot of players to fail for him to get first place. But the first one happens there. That is Tween getting picked off by the close kind of slalom section there, but Pac is on the attack. CarlJr directly in front of him, only 200 separate the two of them, but Pac makes a mistake, goes too close and touches on the inside there. So now we move up to CarlJr, who is in second place at the moment, but as we said, Massa might take first, but that means he will draw equal with CarlJr, so that means that Carl can't just rest on his laurels here if he has given up on the fight for first place. He still needs to look at the points he can possibly lose to Massa. Carl just going to go for the safe finish here. He knows Tween's quite far behind him, but look at that time by Massa. 103.78 being driven by Massa, which I believe is the fastest time being driven on this map so far. Being driven in the final by Massa, showing that he is definitely still wanting to fight for the top positions and brings himself equal with Carl on 119 points.
Yeah, of course, this is a very... it is very important that this match map is driven now 2 times in a row, 2 times in this match, and yeah, Massa was really good on this map also the first time, and we see a big mistake here by Pac, so he doesn't get the first place in this round either. So Massa is again at the top, but he scored well and he's now equal with CarlJr in the total standings, even though CarlJr had the bonus points, 10 bonus points at the start. So Massa is really doing well here, and now he can go up to 129 points, and maybe Massa can also still win this grand final. CarlJr stays on second place, and I think, yeah, both players can pretty much save it into the finish. We have like the equal situation like previous time, so CarlJr maybe takes the lower finish again. Yeah, he's doing that. Massa with another sick time, 103.81. And it will be difficult for Pac to get the first place here if Massa continues to drive these times.
So Massa looks like he's feeling hype now, and that's the perfect break call, I would say, for Pac. Massa being very much a momentum driven player, now getting his momentum going with a 103.7 and a 103.8 instantly. Pac calls for the break as well, of course, making 2 mistakes himself early on. Now only has arguably 2 rounds left in the bag before he has another finalist going alongside with him. So Pac has a minute and a half to kind of recollect his own thoughts as well and get himself focused. Or do you think this was more a break for Pac for his own benefit, or do you think to stop Massa's kind of charge through the Thompson map?
I think it's because he wants to stop Massa, and I wouldn't be surprised if it works.
Yeah. Between 104 points here, he's been left behind by the other players, but now Massa is actually ahead. 129 points to Carl's 125. So still, as I said, something to fight for. And they're not even that far away from Pac either. 15 points for Carl to finalist, 11 points for Massa. So that's a first place and a second for either of these players. Will get them through. Of course, 2 seconds will be fine for Massa, but he'll be wanting to make sure that Pac doesn't have any breathing room that's possible. But if we look at it here, this is the second to last round of Makes You Think. So by going, even if the two of them win and get finalist or something like that, they will still have to defeat Pac on the next map, which I believe was Kenzan Love, which Pac did perform pretty well on, if I remember right. So it's definitely not over yet. It depends what Pac can do on Makes You Think, but by his first 2 rounds, he's definitely got to step it up here. And Massa goes for another break here, and taking an extra 2 minutes here. Maybe
I think Massa is just trolling.
Yeah, I think that might be more of a troll pause, but nevertheless, he might need it. You never know. Might just need to. Yeah, it might be a tactical pause for mind games. Who knows? It's Massa's decision when he wants to take this pause. For whatever reason he wants to take this pause, it is completely up to himself. He can take it to BM. It's completely up to him. So. With this, would you say it's just a mind game, just a bit of a troll with this pause?
Yes, but also, well, Pac now really focused. Now comes the round that he wants to win, and then there's another 2 minutes. And now he has to relax again and focus again. So it's basically not that silly to do that. It would be funny if now Tween comes and also
Oh. He's playing dumb now, and then straight after he's just gonna. Oh yeah, here we go. I'll think about the mind games. Oh, Tween's considering it. Tween hasn't used any pauses, I don't think, throughout this whole tournament. So maybe just one of those players that doesn't believe in what kind of benefit that would have for him. But a little bit going forward, and we will be underway. Only 10 seconds to go, and we will see if Pac finally manages to secure the first place of the Pro League Season 2. But here we go. So, Makes You Think, round 3 to be contested. And let's see what Pac can do. Will there be another mistake we will see? Or will we see Pac finally taking it home? Will we see him even putting pressure on the other players? He's crashed before the kind of middle section of the track. Tween, I have no idea what happened to him there, but looks as if he clipped the CP and he made another mistake. So Tween now drops further back. Pac not with the best start here. Still has Massa and Carl in front of him. And he has a 10th behind. Trying to move ahead of Carl into second place here. Carl has a much better inside line, though Pac might have a bit more speed going over the off-road. Still has a bit of a mountain to climb here, though. Might be only 2/10, but that is a mountain in Trackmania terms. And Pac this time, no mistakes going through here. Massa makes a mistake, though, so only Carl is left between Pac and the Season 2 crown. The Season 1 winner. CarlJr holding strong in the lead, but not the best exit going over the quarter pipe. Pac, is he going to go for it throughout this last turn? He goes and dives inside, but Carl has a better exit. Carl breaks a little bit going over the end, but who's going to take it? Pac gets it with a 103.828 and is the Pro League Season 2 champion. Takes home €550 as a result. Massa has to settle for second, Carl third, Tween getting fourth. So now the battle for second place is on between these players.
Big GG to Pac, what a round, a very nice ending, and yeah, I expected him to overtake CarlJr because CarlJr struggled a lot with this ending. We saw him saving it in the first 2 rounds, and he never really seemed to be very confident there. However, Massa was again on the 6th time, but crashed at this time. He's now on 135 points, so he needs first or second, and will get finalist status, and it really looks like he will do that. And yeah, CarlJr with another mistake, so even the second place is not really safe for CarlJr at the moment. Massa will get the finalist status in front of him, and CarlJr still has some catch up to 2 with this third place that he might get in this round. He gets in total just 133, which means he needs to win the next round in order to get finalist. Second would be not enough. So Massa, will he get a finish jump? Yes, he does, with another 103 time in front of Tween and CarlJr. So now it's the time for Massa to shine, but we will switch the map.
Yeah, ironic that the only time Massa did not get a 103 is the match is the one he failed on, and the one that Pac then consequently won. So unfortunate there for Massa. Could have perhaps held the other round and made it at least a bit longer in going forward. But nevertheless, Massa on his first attempt with the finalist. It is in a battle for second position, and €300 going to whoever gets second. So definitely a pretty penny going to whoever manages to take it home. And Carl only on 133 points, so at least Carl needs second place or better. So if Tween wins this round, Massa should still go for second to give himself the extra round buffer over CarlJr. But again, Carl, an unexpected performance, it must be said. Hopefully we see a better CarlJr coming back for future tournaments, as he seemed like he just never, as you said, Maris, he never seemed in the mood for it. We didn't see him taking the round by the scruff of the neck, as they say, and dominating any maps. If anything, he was more the kind of Tween type player, going for consistency but still making quite a lot of mistakes. So hopefully we see better things from the players in the battle for second. Tween's certainly not out of it here, but he's got, as again, another mountain to climb to get himself up into the top points, get himself up to finalist mode. But Massa, we've seen how much he can risk going through in this round. Will he make this the final round of the Trackmania Pro League Season 2? Let's see, and let's ride along with Massa. So, round number 1 on Kenzan Love. Carl is a world record holder here, so he is capable of some great things. Will he realise it in this round? Or will he fall by the wayside and watch Massa succeeding? Massa off to a great start here, has to take an inside line there, doesn't use as much of the track as he would like. So Tween manages to catch up, and Carl, I believe, touched on the inside there. So Carl is out of the fight for first place, so he will not get the points he's needed. However, Massa has made a mistake, and exactly the situation I talked about. Massa still needs to go for the second place here to deny Carl possible points, but if Tween wins, that will bring him up to 123, potentially within 2 rounds of finalist mode, and getting bit by bit closer to CarlJr as well. So Tween, all he needs to do is get this ending, no problem. Massa's getting closer, but I don't believe it'll be enough by when all is said and done. Tween gets a bug at the end, and Massa takes second place. Massa wins the round as Tween gets a landing bug on the edge of the pool, and Massa takes it home in almost the most controversial circumstance possible. And that is the fight for first place, sorry, the fight for second place over. Massa takes it. Massa ends this event €300 richer, and now Tween has to refocus in the battle for third place, as he's still got CarlJr to face up against.
Well, MP4 has no bugs, you know. Then we see Tween with a mistake, but yeah, in this round, it's actually, it doesn't matter what happens, because CarlJr will get the finalist status anyway, and Tween will be between 120 and 130 points anyway, no matter if he wins or loses this round, so it actually is not that important. But of course the round afterwards will be the first finalist attempt for CarlJr. Unless someone fails to finish here, but actually they both can save it if they know the situation. So let's see what they do. CarlJr is saving. Tween is not saving, but gets the water bounce. Oh, Tween for the style points here.
Here we go. Is this then going to be the final round? I was under the impression it had finished after 2, but the third place is still to be fought for. CarlJr finalist, Tween 15 points behind. So let's see if he manages to close it off right here and now, or will Tween manage to get himself closer to the point, to the prize money here? Tween already slightly behind here. He's already got to fight back. Oh, he has to do an extra drift there to avoid going too close to the inside there. CarlJr does take a strong advantage here of 0.2 of a second. Tween gets a bit of an awkward jump there. He has to risk this now. He's 2.5 tenths behind. Going a bit further now. Is this going to be Carl's round? I'm sure it wouldn't have ended like he would have hoped it would have been, but still €150 is better in his pocket than Tween's, I'm sure he'll think. CarlJr, all he needs to do is this remaining turn and he will be fine. Even safes it a little bit going through the ending. Tween with a lot of speed though. Is he going to manage to get close? Tween crashes in the end and CarlJr takes home the third place to close off Trackmania Pro League Season 2 with third place in the match. So Paco wins. He is the champion of Trackmania Pro League Season 2, taking the torch from Carl, who was the winner in Season 1. Takes home €550 does Pac, and wins all the glory offered to him by Season 2, followed up by Massa, who takes €300 with a stellar performance in this final despite coming from the consolidation final. And as well, CarlJr, he has finally been stopped. His winning streak in TMPL has been well and truly snapped with a third position here, still taking home €150, and Tween has to settle for fourth place.